Hello everyone and welcome back to the new video talking about new black shields. Um, I think they're pretty interesting, uh, and honestly, like I think they will be quite competitive, but I'm not really sure about it. Maybe some of the warlords, but let's get started. Edred Har, 35 HP warlord, like Primarch kind of with less HP. Rage give +1/+0 to a friendly, to random friendly troop, which is pretty good, I have to say. I really like this ability. 2 energy, create a random black shield troop in your hand, uh, both vehicles and Astartes. So yeah, why not? Little bit of refuel. Vengeance means that the cost of this ability of this card is going to uh, go down whenever one of our friendly unit trigger rage. We don't have that many troop with rage. Still, I think the cost is a little bit high. Like in event, even when against very aggressive warlord and even smacking every turn, I think this doesn't come up until like turn 9, 10, in even at the best. If not, you are not able to play it. So, but the Riven Hound, which is the transformation, is really good. Berserk, Bloodthirst, and with 2 energy you gain Survivor 2 at +1/+0. Uh, Note that you can actually trigger the ability twice. You must act because you have Berserk, but since you have Bloodthirst, you just gain Survivor 4 and +2/+0, and next turn you can smack for 8. I think is really good. The, like the point I think of Har is base form. The transformation is just a plus, but the fact that he buffs the attack of friendly troop just by damaging himself, I think it's the key. Um, he is really good with like survivable troops and stealth troops, I think. And I think he will see some competitive play. At the very least, is very aggressive warlord, and the card pool of black shields is kind of okay, like kind of good. So I think he will see some play. Um, then we have Erudvan. Uh, well, he has 35 HP, Xana Spoils, which is this card. Uh, 18 energy, put in play an Ashurax. Lower the cost by 1 when a friendly vehicle is damaged. So, in order for this to be playable, you need to deal a lot of damage. You need to deal damage a lot of time with vehicles. Uh, the fact that Erudvan can put in vehicles like with his ability, random 2 costs, makes this a little bit easier. And also, Black Shields have some good vehicles. Uh, However, I think the cost again it's a little bit high, but apart from that, is a medium initiative warlord. Put in place troops. It's not that bad, and also the buff ability for vehicles can be quite good, especially like with Black Sheet Outriders. Uh, but apart from that, yeah, I mean, he can see some play. I guess though against like solo warlords, Xena's Poise is almost never going to trigger, and even then, even if you trigger it, like if even if you make this card playable, you are playing like an 8 energy Ashurax, and I think Ashurax sucks. So yeah, I don't know. Doesn't seem that great to me, but maybe I'm wrong about him. Mortrug was already there. I like this warlord, really aggressive. Kitur Neferis, 30 HP, savage, deal 1 damage to the enemy warlord, 2 energy, gain shield, connect again. So he's an high initiative warlord, deals a lot of damage, I think. Uh, the problem is 30 HP, but the fact is that like they can be really aggressive. So I think having always the ability to deal 1 damage whenever you attack, it's quite nice. if I have to say. The 30 HP is kind of a downside because you have no healing, you have some shield, but you also have a way to gain shield. However, it's hard to evaluate him. I think he is really dependent on what kind of decks are playing on the meta. Like if you face Edrid Har, you're just going to lose. Like there is no way Har is losing to Neferis ever because of his ability of rage. You attack, you always deal 2 damage to Har, and if he has like Sisyphean crewmates, is it's this is thing is already a 5-3. So yeah, and with 30 HP, you're not going to survive it very long. Apart from that, I think the design is okay, and maybe if we see a really aggressive Black Shield deck, he is the one you want to go for. Ashen Claws. Uh, 1 energy, choose a troop or tactic in the enemy hand, create a copy of it in your hand. So the fact is that you have like you can also like take a sneak peek at the enemy hand, which is not bad, um, and then generate resources. But I think this is a card you want to create. You don't want this to in your main deck, I think, unless when Kirin comes in, maybe he has something to that maybe discounts or something the created cards you play. In this case, I think this will be pretty interesting. Apart from that, I wouldn't play it in any of the other warlords in the main deck. Charge attack. Deal 1 damage to your warlord, give it +2/+0. This card is great in Har. I think is also very good in Neferis. And it's just a good card overall. Like +2/+0 to your warlord is okay. Is yes, for 1 energy, it becomes a 4 attack. You can take out some stuff. I think is really good. Legendary Garek. 2/1, 1 energy, black backlash, add a copy of Shadow Wars to the enemy deck. Shadow Wars is this card, which is a trap, and when drawn, you put in play an unknown Blackshield and draw a card. Unknown Blackshield is this guy, which is a 4 energy 3/5 and relentless create a random warband in your hand. Warbands are a new type of tactics, which is this. There are some pretty good ones, I think. Some others are like whatever, but I think Legionary Garek in the main deck, the real card Legionary Garek won't be played, but there is another card that creates 2 of them that will see a lot of play, I think. Then we have Chieftain Neil. 2 energy, 3/2, Survivor 2, Sacrifice, give Bastion 2 to your other units. This card is insane. It's so like it's overstated to say the least. I think as a 2/2 it would be just as fine. The fact that it's 2 energy is amazing. This card is great with Har, is great with Neferis. Yeah, I think this card will see 2 of in every Black Shield deck with exception of 1. Then we have Desolation Hounds, another warband, deal 2 damage to all troops. Okay, yeah, can be a little bit more interesting with Har because if you have troops with rage, you can trigger it like maybe an additional time. I think it's okay, nothing crazy. Yeah, like it's okay. It's not a like I think this card is worse than Gnoatic Purgation from Word Bearers, um, but apart from that, it's just a solid board clear for 2 energy. Emperor's Fang. Give +1/+0 to your units this turn if they have a rage. Give them an additional +1/+0. 2 energy. This card will see, I think, a lot of play in R. Apart from that, I think you want to generate this card. It's not a card that you want to put in your main deck, I think. However, it's not bad at all. Charybdis Claw. 2 energy tactic, draw a vehicle from your deck and give it drop pod. So the point, I think it's okay. In you want to play it in one, of course, not in the others. The point is like if you draw a flanking troop, you are not going to use the drop pod. So I don't even know how useful this is. Like you can't choose the vehicle. Like if you play maybe I don't know Blackshield Jetbike or Vigorous Sky Hunters, what's the point of giving them drop pod? You're drawing a vehicle for 2 energy. That's the point. But yeah, I don't really think this will see that much of a play. I think it's pretty pointless. Shadow Wars, Trap, we already saw this card. I think this card, like if the card that generates Shadow Wars are okay, but like why you should play a 2 energy Shadow Wars when you can have Legendary Garrett that puts the Shadow Wars in the enemy's deck cost 1 energy less and it's 2/1. Like this card makes no sense at all. It's just a bad card. In his like as it is, it's a bad card. And other cards that put it in the enemy's deck are way better. So I think this card will see zero play whatsoever. CCVM crewmates was already there. Veteran cuts. 2 energy 2/2. Rally deals 1 damage. If target dies, copy a troop of the enemy deck into your hand. Okay, it's a nice guy. 2/2 deals 1. Orphans of War already had a card similar to that gained survival 2. This gives a little bit more value. I think it's worse because it's less survivable. Apart from that, he's okay. Then we have Vigorous Sky Hunters, 2 energy through 2/3, flank rage, gain +1/+0. Yeah, like I think you want this in hard in order to lower the cost of the reckoning. Apart from that, I think it's okay, like nothing to write home about. Not bad. Apothecary Seatur, 3 energy 3/3. When an enemy dies, give +0/+1 to your other units. I think this card is really good, especially against Swarm decks. If they don't kill this immediately, you're going to boost your troops and your Warlord. Yeah, it's a good card. Blackshield Jetbike, 3/3/2, flank sacrifice, copy a tactic from the enemy deck into your hand. Um, the stat line and the cost are somewhat not great. The sacrifice is okay. Uh, yeah, I don't know. It generates resources. Still, you have a lot of flankers. I don't know if you need this. In one for sure you can play it. Otherwise, I wouldn't bother if I have to say. But maybe I'm just biased toward the 3 energy 3/2 that deals nothing or close to nothing. Broken Hosts. 3 energy, your warlord gain relentless, create a random warband in your hand. I think this card, considering warbands like 1, 2, this card is good, this card is good. This card can generate additional resources, so it's okay. We have this one. This one I think it. Oh, also this one is a warband. This is maybe the worst you can get, but overall I think it's a nice value generator. Yeah, I think if you have this card, you want to try it. It's hard to evaluate, but I think there are some like Emperor's Fang or Desolation Hounds that can be pretty good generated with Broken Hosts. Also, there is a card that lowers the cost of generated cards by 2, and most of the warbands then becomes 0 cost, and I think it's pretty good. Destroyer Urak. So 3 energy 2/2, unstoppable rally and relentless gain a random bonus. So this card is I at first I thought it sucks. Then I played with it and against it in the event, and this card can snowball out of hand like incredibly quickly. Most of the times it gets a survivor, it gets ward, and it's hard to take him down. I think this card will see a 2 of in every single aggressive Black Shield deck. And yeah, it's just also I don't know why, but sometimes you get 2 bonuses instead of 1. Like you get maybe, I don't know, survivor and +1/+1, making this a 3/3 survivor 1. If this survives, it's already unstoppable and it can get, I don't know, board, bloodthirst, and so on. I think this card is pretty good. Grassy Host. Give a random bonus to your starters. 3 energy. Yeah, tempo loss. You need to have at least 2 or 3 starters in order to make this worth it. I don't think it ever happens. Carving support. 3 energy to 4. 2 energy deal 4 damage with the ordnance free. I think this card is good. Like it's a neat 3 energy. I think there are better 3 energy like Destroyer, Apothecary, and Veteran Marauder. But I think this card, it's okay. It's not bad. Mindblade. Warband gives shield to your warlord and addition troops. This card is great. Like great warband to create with Broken Oaths. And I think it's just a really good value engine. Giving shield to both the warlord and addition troops means it's kind of a kite shield from Thousand Sons, but costs 3 energy, 0 psychic energy, and always it's 3 stuff. So I think it's pretty good. Yuma Damertis. 3 energy, 2/4. Your other units have +1/+0. Rage give +1/+0 to your troops. I think this card is amazing. It's really, really good. Really good 3 drop. It's not the most broken card ever, but it's really good. Of course, it's especially good in R because it's a rage card. So dealing damage to this, you're going to lower the cost of the reckoning. Blackshield Javelin. Flank Survivor 1 for energy 3/3. Yes. Especially in Van. Yes. This card is not bad. It's kind of like it's the same vehicle that Salamanders have, but with 1 more health. So I think it's good. Legendary Golgotha. 4/4 energy, cleave 2, and battle armor gains +1/+1. This card is just too slow. However, like the concept is fine because if you kill stuff with cleave, you're gaining +1/+1. But like for energy 4/4 is not what you really want without flanking, without anything. There is no way to give this flank, so I just think it's not that great. Legendary Rand. For energy 4/3, the rage deal 2 damage to a random enemy troop, maybe in Har. Otherwise, I think it's not great. 3 health for 4 energy is whatever. Like, it's pretty easy to kill it. Yeah, I don't really like this card. Plundered Outpost. For energy, the warlord gains cards you create cost 2 less. Create 2 Shadow Wars in your hand. So this card I don't really know, but I like maybe if you're going all in creating cards, maybe with Kirin when it comes out. But as it stands, I think it's awful. Just because it really does nothing. It's a 4 energy, waste your entire turn type of cards. Shadow Wars is not guaranteed that your opponent draw them, so yeah, and it's not guaranteed that you create cards too, so yeah, I don't really know. Maybe if there is someday a warlord that plays around creating cards, yes, it can be played. Otherwise, I think it's just the worst legendary that I have. Ranta Command. 4/4 energy, frontline, backlash, your warlord gains shield. So this card is good, I think. Deals something when he leaves and is a frontline guy, which we don't have many. So I think this will see some play. True Flame. For energy, put in play 2 Legendary Garrick and give them flank. This card is a 2 of in every single Blackshield deck. It's like cards that create other cards and give them flank is usually pretty good. If they also have a backlash, it's incredibly good. And if you can buff it, maybe with I don't know, a Har, for example, or Emperor's Fang, like this card can clear a board all by itself, like, and it costs 4 energy. So and also put in play the Shadow Wars into the enemy's deck. So I think this card is really, really good. Unknown Blackshield. 4 energy, 3/5, relentless client random warband. I think this card is okay, but won't see any play because there are better 4 drops and you can create it with Shadow Wars. So yeah, not really that much to say. Bitter Fervor. 5 energy gives survivor 2 to your warlord for each enemy unit. This card is bad as fuck. Completely useless against solo warlords and really only useful against warlord bearers and defenders of Caliban, so I think this card is trash. Blackshield Marauder. 5 energy, 5/4, stealth ambush, copy the card from the enemy deck into your hand. This card is quite nice. 4 health is susceptible to Call of Cowardice. Apart from that, it's really not bad. Especially you can buff it with Har since it's a stealth guy. This can become like a 7/3, but 7/4, but by the time it attacks, so I think it's pretty good. Consul de Andros, 5 energy, 5/6, Vantage, 3 energy, take control of an enemy vehicle, deal 4 damage to any other unit. Yeah, solid legendary. I think it's really good. Statline is good. Ability is amazing. Like if you play this with 8 energy and steal a vehicle from a vehicle heavy faction, I think this card can be really good. Apart from that, yeah, it's hard. Like it's I think a little bit weaker when you play it on curve and you can't take advantage of the vantage and dealing damage. But yeah, it's beefy boy. Like it's not bad at all. I like this card. Legendary Bhutan. Adjacent unit have +1/+0. 5 energy, 6/4. 4 health is a little bit low. If this was a 4/6, this card would be amazing. As a 6/4, I think is not worth including, in my opinion. Lethal Exposure. 5 energy, give sentence 2 to enemy troops and deal 1 damage to all enemies. I think this card is amazing, really good. Like with the Desolation Hounds, you can deal like 5 damage to all enemy troops, which clears almost anything. I think it's just a good card. Maybe it's a one-off, but I think it's pretty good. Liminal Plunderer. 5 energy, 4/6. Enemy tactics cost 1 more. 1, choose a Blackshield as status and add it to your hand. So the stat line is okay. The passive effect is pretty good. You don't really care about the active ability, I think. I just think it's a solid 5 energy card. Like, I think it's worse than Outriders, but it's not bad at all. Like 5 energy, 5/6 with R. Yes, which also has increased cost for tactics. I think it's pretty good. Auric Squad. 5 energy, 5/5 unstoppable berserk, rage, deal 1 damage to 2 random enemies. I think this card is really good in R. Apart from that, it does nothing when it comes in, which is a shame. And as berserk, which is also a shame. But it's not bad. I think in R you want to try this, but yeah. Otherwise, I don't know. Maybe in what's the name, in Kitur you want to try it because it's a really aggressive card. But yeah. Apart from that, I'm not really sure about it. Champion Garmund, 6 energy, 6/5, rage, deal 2 damage to the enemy with the highest attack. Of course, 2 of these in R, but it's really not a bad card in general. I think it's pretty good. As a 6 energy, there are some really good 6 energy, I think, like Index and Praying Marauders, but I think this card will see some play. Praying Marauders, deal 5 damage for 6 energy. If target dies, copy 2 cards from an enemy's deck into your hand. So this is a finisher. You can play 2 of these. Usually 5 damage is a legendary tactic, like the Sword of Truth for Agent of the Sigillite. This is, I think, really good. As a one-of, for sure. Maybe also as a two-of. I think this card is great. The index, 5/6, 6 energy. When your opponent plays a tactic, create a copy of it in your hand. Rarely gains precognition one turn. This card is amazing. Like, it's so good. Uh, it's a value engine that is protected with the best protection there is for one turn. I think this card is, yes. I think this will see play in every Blackshield deck, no matter if you're playing like the vehicle route or not. This card is so good. Unknown Legionary. 7, 5, 6 energy, backlash, create random Astartes in your hand, cost 2 less. This can generate any Astartes, not Blackshield Astartes. So you can get like Sanguinary Guard, you can get, I don't know, Blade Master from Thousand Sons. Apart from that, 7/5 is a little bit weak of a stat line for 6 energy, I think. So I wouldn't play it. Vazarak Squad, unstoppable, rarely gives sentence 2 to an enemy troop. Yeah, I don't like. It's kind of pointless. Like, it's like dealing 2 damage for 6 energy, 6/5 unstoppable. Yes, is not where you want to be, I think. Artale Lock, 7 energy, 7/7. When you play a card created during this game, deal 2 damage to a random enemy. Maybe if you have a card creation deck, otherwise I think it sucks. Honestly, the fact that Van counts towards lowering the cost of Sana spoils for Van, so maybe this is the route you want to take, but I think it's pointless. Like, there are other easier routes to achieve it. So both 7 energy, give +1/+1 to a starters in your hand and deck, cost 1 energy less for each damage unit in play. I think it's too slow. And what, like, usually I think the most you can expect is to play this for 3 energy, which is not bad. But you play for 3 energy usually later in the game. So yeah, I don't know. Not a easy card to evaluate. The Murmur. 7 energy, 7/6, flank, first strike, battle honor, create a copy in your hand of a troop killed. 100% the best legendary they have. It's incredibly powerful, if not broken. Stat line makes no sense with this ability. I think it should be a 6/4 or a 6/5. Yeah, play it. Vargul Terminators. 6/7 frontline, 7 energy, pride gains +0/+3. It's too slow, I think. Green Convulsion. Vantage, deal 2/3 damage to all enemies. For 2 energy, 8 energy, 6/7/9. I think it's too slow. River Lordial, 8 energy, 8/8. When you play a card created during this game, give +1/+0 to your units this turn. I think it's too slow. Does nothing when it comes in, so yeah, I don't like it. Deredeo Kaitos, 9 energy, 9/7. Rarely deal 3 damage with ordnance 3. If target dies, gain survival 3. I like this card a lot. It's really hard to take it down, and does something when it comes in. I think this card will see play in Van for sure, and maybe also somewhere else. Roar of Sedition, 10 energy, 6/12 frontline, 2 energy, draw a troop and put it into play, give it flank. Yeah, don't play it. So, overall, I think the card pool is pretty okay. There are some really good cards. I think Har will be the most competitive, followed by Netheris and maybe Van. But Van, I don't think it's... maybe with neutral cards he can achieve better, but I think just it's a little bit weak. But maybe because it doesn't have that much going for him, I think. Giving +2/+2 to a friendly vehicle is fine. Apart from that, like, I don't really know. Mortug maybe will see some play too, but I think he's just overshadowed by Har and Neferis, which are aggressive as him, as aggressive as him or more, and usually like more flexible. Like the fact that it's random damage to a random enemy makes it this like a hitting a slot machine. So uh, even if I like the design, I think Har is way better if you want to go aggressive, and you can't really go anything else with Morturg. Maybe Black Shield will see a little bit of a resurgence. There are some really annoying troop to kill. Even if I don't like this card, maybe. Surely not in hard because you want to draw cards and this takes out a card of your starting hand. So I don't think in hard we'll see some play, but maybe in Neferis or Morturg. And yeah, I like them. I'm really enjoying the event. I didn't find any of the legendary in my 12 wheel run, so hope to get something. And yeah, hope you let me know what you think about new Black Shields, Orphans of War. Um, also, I'm sorry about my voice, but I'm a little bit sick, and but I wanted to do the video because uh, like expansions are like twice a year, so the time that we get release, I think I have to cover it no matter what. So thanks for watching and see you guys next time.